If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now it's the final days of our Everything's on Sale event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses. Our Memorial Day event ends Monday. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
It's time for the Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games at Southern Utah University in Cedar City. Register today to participate in the 40th anniversary season of a Utah sports tradition at utahsummergames.org. Participate in over 50 sports around the state. Then plan to join the opening ceremonies Friday, June 5th, presented by State Bank of Southern Utah. Register today to participate in the 40th anniversary season of the Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games.
Welcome back to the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napoles, Sean Croshaw producing. Sean just threw a little curveball right before he threw us on. That was funny.
It was funny.
Good one,
It was great.
Sean.
It was great. He's right, though. That's what they call them.
So this is the final.
This is the final. We have the UEFA Champions League final up on the TV. It's probably the biggest cup competition in all of world soccer, and that's what we got on this Saturday morning.
Between PSG and Arsenal, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you said you're going for PSG.
Yes, they won it last year, so they're looking to go back to back.
And they don't have what's his name anymore?
Mbappe?
Yes.
No.
Kylian.
He's gone. In fact, they got better once he left.
How does that work?
Attitude, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Entitled?
Attitude, entitlement. I don't know. I don't know what's the best way to describe it, but he was clearly causing some issues in the locker room. Now that he's gone, though, and he's at his new team, Real Madrid, and issues are happening there, and PSG are
coincidence, huh?
Going back to back. I don't coincidence. I think not.
Well, thank you to everybody joining us on this Saturday morning. We got a lot to get to today. There was a busy news week for being kind of the off season, but
yes.
Of course,
you know what though, we love it.
We love it.
We love it. It gives us it gives us things to talk about and things to think about. Because we'll dive into it later, but there's a lot going on right now up on the hill with the Ocho Capital deal and the financial stuff and
yes.
It seems like the more and more that comes out about Ocho Capital and the private equity, the more and more it seems like not so great of an idea.
You don't say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's start here, though, Alex. Big NBA news this week. Obviously, the Knicks advanced to the finals. They're going to be playing the winner of OKC and San Antonio. Game 7 tonight. Game 6 was absolutely atrocious. OKC just no-showed.
Yeah.
And I was pretty surprised that they turned in that poor of a performance. Because, defending champions, back-to-back MVP and Shea. The second half of the third quarter was unwatchable.
Yeah. SGA looked pedestrian. They did a really good job of taking him out of the game, man. It didn't seem like, the Shea Gilgeous-Alexander that we've seen throughout the course of this entire series. He was kind of just there, and I think that's a testament to the defensive effort in San Antonio stepping up to the plate, man. Knowing what was at stake, knowing that, hey, if you lose here, it's the end of your season.
SGA 6 of 18, 0 of 5 from 3.
Yeah, there you
and
go.
Only 3 free throw attempts. Part of the storyline with this game, too, is, with Game 6, right? Jalen Williams did play, coming with the bum hamstring, and he was horrible.
And now he's out.
And now he's out for Game 7 because they were like, yeah, if he's, he only played 10 minutes, but he finished minus 18 on the box score. And they're like, if he's a net negative out there, then there's no point in playing him.
I don't know how, close he is to 100%, but let's say if it's a 40%, yeah, if it's a 40% Williams, then
he took one shot. It was a 3-pointer, and he missed it. Yeah. He did go to the line. He took 2 free throws. He made one of them, but yeah, dude. So when you look at, and this is kind of the conversation we had last week, when you look at OKC, they've got, of course, SGA on the Supermax, and then they've got Jalen Williams on the max and Chet Holmgren on the max. And I think Chet Holmgren has been super underwhelming.
Absolutely.
Throughout, especially this series. I mean, the first round he didn't really need to do much. The second round he didn't really need to do much either. But especially with Jalen Williams out, Chet Holmgren needs to step up and be, their second best player. Mm-hmm. And Game 6 was probably his best game of the series. He only had 10 points. He did have a lot of rebounds. He had 11 and 2 blocks. So he's putting in effort on the boards and the defensive end, but only 8 shot attempts, And when J-Dub is out, Chet's got to be taking 12, 15 shots a game, especially if SGA is not on, right? 18 attempts for SGA. But then you look at other guys, Lou Dort's taking 11 shots. Jared McCain taking 11, I'm okay with that. He's a good shooter. But why in the world is Lou Dort taking 11 shots? 1 of 9 from 3 for Lou Dort. Where's Chet?
Where is Chet? That's the big question. And, when you need your depth to step up. We had this conversation a little bit last week where you need your depth to step up, and somebody's got to help out Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Because in a situation like Game 6 where they do a really good job of taking Shai Gilgeous-Alexander out of the game, somebody else needs to step up. Somebody else needs to become your scorer. And I think in this case, you saw what happens when nobody can really step up. I'll give plaudits to guys like Alex Caruso, who have been fantastic defensively. Guys like Isaiah Hartenstein, who have been fantastic defensively. But they're not your scorers. They're not going to step up and carry the load that's missing from a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, right? And for as good as they've been defensively, they're struggling for somebody else to step up in the absence of Jalen Williams.
I'd much rather have Caruso taking 11 shots instead of Lou Dort. Caruso went nuclear in Game 1. He had like 30-something points. He's shooting, coming into Game 6, he was shooting like 48% from 3 in this series, or in the playoffs overall. I just don't understand, Caruso's never going to be a go-to scorer, but I'm much more comfortable with him taking shots than Lou Dort. Arsenal gets on the board quickly in the 6th minute.
5 minutes, 6 minutes in. I had a really interesting thought last night as I was going to bed. I don't know why this popped up in my head, like right before I hit the pillow, but I thought about Lou Dort, and I was asking myself, is Lou Dort actually a good basketball player? Or is he just kind of there?
Well,
is he the product of, being on a good team at the right time?
I wouldn't say that. We had a conversation a couple months ago. I was talking about a guy like Dellavedova on the Cavaliers. Mm-hmm. Like, sometimes you just need guys who are going to come in and play their butts off. And honestly, Lou Dort does that. And
he does.
He's kind of a mercenary. You need somebody to go put out a hard foul. Lou Dort's going to do that. And he's a role player, and role players are really important, especially in the playoffs. You need role players who stick to what they do. 11 shots a game is not what Lou Dort does.
Right.
So that's where I'm confused, and I don't know where this came from in Game 6 and who thought that was a good idea. But I do think Lou Dort is I honestly think all 29 other NBA teams would be happy with a Lou Dort on their team. Now, would they be happy with Lou Dort as their second or third best player? Heck no.
Yeah.
But I mean,
that's kind of where I'm at.
Right.
Yeah.
He's not an all-star, but you don't need to be an all-star. You just need to be a guy who has a defined role, and when you stick to your defined role, you're really good at that, and that's who Lou Dort is.
Yeah. I just it came to my mind because literally as I was going to bed, I saw that video of whether or not did Wemby pull his hair as he was they were running down the court. So that came to my mind as I was going to bed last night.
That's something I'm kind of confused by with this Spurs run is why are they all of a sudden trying to turn heel?
Trying to become the villain.
Yeah, and Victor Wembanyama does this whole
Wemby especially,
performative thing in the offseason where he goes and trains with the monks and he's enlightened and look how cool he is because he's hanging out with and he's got the Zen and he's balancing on one foot. So are you a good guy or not? Because he comes in the playoffs and he elbows Naz Reid in the throat.
Right.
And then you see the clip of him telling Bismack Biyombo and Mason Plumlee to go take out Jared McCain.
Yeah, he 1,000% told them to go foul.
Did you see the other angle? You could clearly read his lips.
Yeah.
There's one angle of the behind shot, and you could read his lips, and he says hard foul.
Yep.
What is that? I
don't know why they're all of a sudden trying to become or trying to take on this villain persona.
And the whole media thing
it's odd
too.
to me. It's
Wemby,
weird. Yeah, and then you have Wemby
skipping out on the media, acting
absolutely.
like he's above that and stuff. I don't understand why that's his approach. I don't know. It's kind of weird. How old is Wemby? He's only like 21 or 22, right?
Ooh.
It's like the Monk thing is, he was born, he's 22.
Mm-hmm.
So he's still young. He's still a kid, right? The Monk thing I thought was annoying because it's like, who are you trying to impress with that? You know?
Yeah.
Who are you showing off for with that? And then you come into the playoffs and you want to be villain and stuff, and it's just a kid, I think, not really knowing a path to go down. I don't know. I think it would be good for the league if Wembanyama came in and was a good guy. I mean, that was Tim Duncan's whole thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tim Duncan never got it under anybody's skin.
Absolutely not.
And I know there are a couple of players on that Spurs team that kind of did, right?
Tim Duncan let his game speak for him.
Right.
It always seemed like he was the type of guy that let his game speak for him. And I mean, the track record shows that he has the track record to go with it. And I think Wembanyama can be in that same conversation, right? Just let your track record show for itself. I know you haven't won anything yet, but you're already being talked about a guy who can potentially come in and change the way, change the NBA, be a dominant player, be an All-NBA star for the rest of your career. Like, you don't need to become this villain. You don't need to take on this villainified persona that you're all of a sudden trying to hitch your wagon on. It doesn't make it doesn't make sense.
That's part of my problem too is, they've won 2 playoff series and they're in the conference finals, but most of this team has never been in the playoffs before. Even guys like Vassell, who've been on the roster for a few years now, like, this is their first playoff run. They have not won a title, so why are you acting above everybody else? You know, sure, even if you don't win the finals this year, if you dethrone the reigning champs, maybe we could have a conversation. But even then, like, I hate this culture of, announcing the next dynasty before they're even here.
Right.
And I get that Wembanyama's looked really good and they're pushing the Thunder to 7 games. And that's a great accomplishment in his first playoff run. But grand scheme of things, that doesn't mean anything.
No, you still have to go out there and you have to prove it. And again, it goes back to what I was saying with letting your game speak for itself instead of trying to take on this villain persona when you haven't done anything, you haven't won anything. You have to go out there and you have to. I mean, it's a big deal to go out and try to dethrone the defending champion, right?
Try, yeah.
Especially when the conversation last season was Oklahoma City is going to be the dynasty, and Oklahoma City is going to be the next big NBA dynasty.
Right. It was the same conversation though, because they hadn't won anything either before last year.
Yeah, and now. I do think you have to have some type of confidence and some type of swagger to try to take down this team that's been, a team that's trying to go back to back, a team that's trying to start a dynasty. You do have to have some confidence, but to just be outright villainous, that doesn't make any sense.
No, I don't. Especially, I don't know. The Thunder are kind of villains too.
They
talking about
you know what?
Lou Dort.
They kind of taken on that persona.
So you got 2 bad guys going against each other, and and then they're gonna play the Knicks.
What happened, 2-3 seasons ago with Oklahoma City when they were likable,
right?
And everybody was,
it's the whole Chiefs thing.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was, yes, absolutely. It's a common thread with every single sports dynasty.
Yes, everybody loved the Chiefs because they dethroned the Patriots, and then they starts
likable, and then they become jerks.
They're good for so long, or they manipulate the refs or whatever, and people hate them.
Deflategate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the Batman thing, you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
That's 1,000% what it is, and I think the Spurs are trying. It seems like now Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs are trying to get an early jump to it.
Game 7 tonight, 6 p.m. It's at OKC.
Yes.
Do you think that matter? You think the Thunder are just?
I think that accounts for something. I think that I think home court advantage still, especially in a Game 7, does account for something. I've loved the back and forth that these 2 teams have had. I've loved watching this series unfold. I wonder how much not having Jalen Williams available, and how much not having a secondary scorer is going to impact the Oklahoma City Thunder, as we were talking about earlier, I still think OKC moves on.
SGA is 2-1 in Game 7s in his career.
Oof.
He lost his first one and then won the next two.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I actually liked SGA's attitude after the loss in Game 6, even though he played like garbage.
Yeah.
And I truthfully do think just straight up holding Jalen Williams out, I think that's going to give the team a boost. I like what Jared McCain has done in this series. I really like him a lot. I think he can be an incredible scorer. And the fact that, if J-Dub was healthy, you're looking at Jared McCain as like the 4th or 5th scorer.
Right.
And I think that's incredible.
Pretty good depth option.
But again, with Jalen Williams out, he does need to take on a bigger role, and I think he can. Caruso, as I mentioned, he's a player that at times has stepped outside of his role, but he's been able to do it. Like in Game 1, he kind of carried that Thunder offense in Game 1 of this series. And then you've got some of these other young guys like Cason Wallace and Aaron Wiggins. AJ Mitchell, I'm not sure if he's going to play tonight or not, but Wallace is another guy that can, they're expecting him to step in and take shots because they're going to have to say goodbye to some of these players. And Wallace is one of the young guys still under contract for a couple more years that is going to stick around. So to be honest with you, Alex, I think the Thunder take it. And I know they're the home team. I know they're the favorites. So that's like an unsexy pick to just go with them. But I think at the end of the day, the experience matters and the having been there matters.
Absolutely.
You just look at it and the Thunder have the back-to-back MVP. They're defending champs. What do the Spurs have that can realistically come in and win this game? I get that Wembanyama is really good, but outside of that, they've been a little inconsistent, the rest of their roster, as far as Steph Castle and Dylan Harper and those guys. So
I would agree.
I think I'm comfortable taking OKC.
I think OKC takes it at home, and we'll end up seeing a Thunder Knicks series, which
that could be fun.
That could be fun, especially now with the hot streak that the Knicks find themselves all of a sudden in.
Yeah.
We talked about it a little bit last week where we were questioning if the Knicks just kind of ran into the NBA Finals due to the fact that it was a weaker Eastern Conference, and it was kind of the path was kind of laid out for them to make a pretty simple run into what turned out to be a pretty simple run into the NBA Finals. But you do have to take into account that they haven't lost in 11 games. They're on a really good hot streak, and I'm excited to see if the Knicks can live up to the hype. I'm excited to see if New York City can live up to the hype, man.
Timothy
Chalamet.
Yeah. I can't wait to see him front row in the finals.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Other NBA news this week, Alex, the lottery 3-2-1 reform got passed. The Board of Governors voted on it. The vote was 29-1. Only one team voted no. Sad enough, it was the Memphis Grizzlies that voted no.
It's the Jazz's fault.
But what's funny about this, so there's the whole hubbub, right? Long story short is this new reform impacts where that pick can fall. And because the Jazz have had a top 5 pick in the last 2 seasons, that pick cannot be a top 5 pick next year.
Yeah.
But Alex, everybody's expecting the Jazz to make the playoffs anyways. So if they're in the playoffs, that pick is not going to be in the lottery. So I don't know. I get on the outside a little bit why the Memphis Grizzlies would feel like they were kind of screwed, but there's no chance that pick is in the top 5.
Right. I understand why you vote no, because of the slightest possibility that pick does end up being a top 5 pick, right? The slightest possibility that the Jazz somehow, for whatever reason, the season doesn't go the way they wanted to go, and they end up in the lottery again, and then that pick somehow moves up to top 5, and you can't select top 5 because the Jazz have already gone back-to-back top 5 picks. I understand why you do it, and I understand, everybody up in arms on social media about it, about yesterday and Thursday or whenever that vote went through. But I think that we're up in arms for no reason. Because I think truly at the end of the day, the Jazz will not be in that situation.
If the Jazz finish as a 9 or 10 seed,
It's possible.
they'll be in the lottery.
Right, it's
if
possible.
they finish as a 7 or 8 seed, depending on how that play-in game goes, they might be in the lottery. But we've talked before. I mean, we expect the Jazz to probably be, I'd say, I'm comfortable saying the Jazz would be 6th in the West next year, which is not in the play-in. So maybe they make the play-in, but I'm excited to see this Jazz team. I think they're going to be really good.
In turn, that wouldn't be a lottery pick,
I think
right?
they're going to be really good.
I think they'll be really good. And in turn, that wouldn't be a lottery pick.
Even if they're the 7th seed and they win a play-in game, they're not in the lottery. So
again, I understand why the Memphis Grizzlies did what they did. I understand why they voted against it. I understand why that they feel like there's a possibility and chance of them losing out on that top 5 pick because of the Jazz that were gone back to back top 5 picks in the last 2 drafts. I understand why you do it, but I think again at the end of the day, we're up in arms about the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
We should be more up in arms about
how stupid the rest
how
of the thing is.
incredibly dumb the the lottery is, the new lottery format is, versus the Memphis Grizzlies potentially getting screwed out of a top 5 pick because the lottery odds are dumb.
One thing that has not been talked about, I haven't seen anybody talking about this, that is part of this reform. What this does to the second round, the first 16 picks of the second round will be in inverse of the lottery order. So if that were to happen this year, that means the Wizards picking first overall. That means their second round pick would be 16th overall, and the Jazz would be 15th pick of the second round, and the Grizzlies would be the 14th pick, and so on and so forth.
That's an interesting wrinkle to this.
Because people are tanking for second round picks all the time.
Right.
Why do we care what happens to the second round picks? I don't get this at all.
Are you trying to give more value to second round picks?
Could be, but also what's the value? Because there's no value until after the lottery, I guess.
Right.
Because you don't know where it's going to land. It's probably trying to make teams feel better when they fall in the lottery. They'll, Adam Silver can say, well, at least your second round pick is a little higher. Like, dude, shut up. And speaking of Adam Silver, the NBA will have an added ability to reduce teams' lottery odds, modify teams' draft positions, and impose significant fines.
I am the Senate.
Right. So
Emperor Palpatine, man.
If Emperor Palpatine Silver thinks that a team is tanking, he can straight up just say, you know what? I'm moving you to pick 16, and there's nothing you can do about it.
And that feels like an extremely dangerous game.
Yes.
You're giving Adam Silver the power to essentially, leave it up to Adam Silver's interpretation of, oh, this team's tanking, let's take away their first round pick. When maybe that's not the case at all.
Right.
You're giving him all the power. You're giving him too much power, I think, with this new lottery reform.
I mean, finding the Jazz and the Pacers was crazy enough.
Yeah.
And then it was wild when he didn't find anybody else.
For the rest of the season, yeah.
For the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So that's what worries me, is that Adam Silver is going to key in on a team. I mean, thank goodness the Jazz are out of the rebuild, right? Because they're going to be pushing for the playoffs. I don't think there's any way Adam Silver could say that the Jazz are tanking. You know what? Actually, this just popped into my head, because we've been talking about this lottery reform doesn't stop tanking. It just changes teams who tank. And now if you're a play-in team, why would you want to be in the play-in when you could lose a couple more games and get a couple more lottery balls?
Yeah.
What if the Jazz have like some sort of injuries, right? So they barely miss the play-in, and then Adam Silver says, oh, the Jazz are tanking still.
Yep.
I'm taking away their pick.
That very well could happen.
And fighting them. I could totally see that scenario. And only the Jazz, by the way.
Yes.
Because that's all that Adam Silver cares about is what the Utah Jazz are doing.
Right. And I think it's funny that the Jazz have become the
face.
The villain of tanking.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I've even seen all these tweets like, thanks to the Jazz for ruining the lottery.
Are we just going to ignore the fact that the Washington Wizards traded for Trae Young and traded for AD and they didn't play?
Right.
Or the fact that... Are we going to ignore the fact that Ivica Zubac got traded to the Pacers and he didn't play?
Who's in the Western Conference Finals?
The Spurs.
How'd they get Wembanyama?
Exactly.
How'd they get Dylan Harper?
I think they went 3 years in a row the way they went top 5, right?
Who's the other one?
The Spurs.
Steph Castle.
Steph Castle. Yeah.
they did have some lottery luck, right?
Uh-oh.
Ruh-roh, Raggy. They did have some lottery luck,
Yeah.
but
That was a good one. No, that was great.
anyway. And same
They did
thing
have
with
lottery luck.
thing with the Thunder.
Right.
The Thunder tank to get Chet.
Right.
Teams tank, dude. It's just
And now you're taking
how it goes.
Now you're taking away the ability of teams that actually need to tank
Right.
to actually try to find an avenue to get better, and you're punishing them with lower lottery odds, as in the quote-unquote relegation zone, which I still think is a terrible name.
Yeah, because it's not relegation at all. They just want
Exactly.
to be cool.
Exactly.
The good news is, though, this will only last till 2029, and then they're going to come up
That
with
is-
some other stupid idea.
That's probably the only positive about this, is the fact that you'll only have to worry about it until 2029. I believe
Maybe.
it lines up a little bit with the CBA, if I'm not mistaken, when the negotiations and things have to start aligning with that. And so we'll see what the newer version of that looks like once 2029 rolls around, but I don't know if it will be a better idea than this.
Well, this will sunset after the 2029 draft, and then a vote will be held to continue it or transition
Oh,
to
there
a
you go.
new system.
There you go.
So 3 drafts.
Yeah.
4 drafts.
It's really unfortunate because I think that we were sitting here a couple months ago begging for a lottery reform and screaming for lottery reform, and now that we get the lottery reform, it seems like it's a really bad idea.
I will let the record show I was screaming for lottery abolishment.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
I think the lottery is the stupidest idea ever.
Yes.
Nobody cares what the bad teams are doing in March anyways. You know?
Yeah. Well, and what's going to stop, a team in 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th
Exactly.
from tanking late in the season?
Right. Nothing. I guess
And
Mr.
as,
Silver.
if the Phoenix Suns are all of a sudden pulling the plug on the season, trying to avoid getting into the play-in to improve their lottery odds, does Emperor Palpatine decide to come in and
The Senate.
take away some lottery picks?
It's a new age. What are they? The First Order. That's the bad guys in the new Star Wars movies.
I think so. Yes.
The First Order.
Yes.
That's Adam Silver. Let's take a break. Coming up next, Alex, we are going to debut a new segment. I'm not going to say what it is yet. We're just going to roll it out. Cold open, but I am excited for this
I
segment.
am excited as well.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So stick with us. It's the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now it's the final days of our Everything's on Sale event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses. Our Memorial Day event ends Monday. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
Welcome back to the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napoles, and Alex, it is time to debut a new segment on the Saturday Show. We've been doing this show for almost 2 years.
Yes, sir.
Congrats, by the way. That's awesome. That's crazy.
Yes. Congrats to you.
And we haven't added any new segments, I don't think.
No. So this is a first.
So we are finally debuting a new segment.
Absolutely.
This one is going to be called Rumor Has It. Okay, it's the rumor mill. We're just going to talk about things that are being floated out there, not quite official yet, but are still worthy to talk about.
Absolutely.
So let's go ahead, and Alex, you can start with the first one.
Chicago Bulls want to run at Kevin Young. The Chicago Bulls, the latest report coming out from Twitter last night, saying that the Chicago Bulls are casting a wide net for their head coaching search, and that includes interest and early conversations with BYU head coach Kevin Young, sources tell ESPN.
You think it's Jamal Collier, by the way. He works for ESPN, is the one that tweeted this out. My initial thought on this, so for everybody that doesn't remember, right, Kevin Young, before he joined BYU, was like one of the top assistants in the NBA.
Right.
I do think the way this is worded is telling, because it just says the Bulls are casting a wide net for the head coaching search, which includes interest and early conversations with Kevin Young. Now, of course, that's how everything starts, right? But literally that can be as much as just the Bulls reached out to Kevin Young. It doesn't mean yet that Kevin Young has any interest in the Bulls job.
Right.
I will say, though, that I'd much rather be an NBA coach than a college coach, because what comes with being a college coach right now, it sounds like hell.
It's kind of messy. It's kind of messy. And, there's all types of legislations, all type of bills. There was a new bill that was introduced this week of trying to save college sports. And so we'll see, everything's a mess. There needs to be some sort of rules and regulations. But anytime anybody proposes rules and regulations, nobody wants to play on the same playing field. So there is a lot that comes with being a college head coach. Now, I think, from my perspective, I think selfishly I would enjoy Kevin Young to stay at BYU. I think what he's done at BYU has been tremendous, and they've been really fun to watch. Obviously, bringing in AJ DeBonta last year was a massive accomplishment. Maybe the season didn't go as well as they wanted it to go, and that's fine. I think Kevin Young has the tool bag to replenish that roster and make another run to have another successful Big 12 season. Now, that being said, because of his track record and how, coveted he was as a NBA assistant and was one of the top assistants when he was at the Phoenix Suns, and what he's done at BYU, I think he's more than earned a look to be a new head coach in the NBA.
Agreed.
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at. I think
I wouldn't want to coach the Bulls.
Yeah, maybe not the Bulls, but I think he's done plenty to earn another look and potentially have a run at being an NBA head coach. Again, not the season he wanted, but he still has a lot of accomplishments in the recruiting trail, and he's kind of brought BYU basketball into relevance. And now
that's always going to get your name in rumor mills.
Exactly, and so you look at all the invitationals they did last year, playing big opponents like Villanova at Madison Square Garden. Like that's massive, and BYU is now on this map of potentially moving into and being considered contenders for Big 12 in Big 12 play, and that's awesome. And so I think he's done plenty to earn an opportunity to be an NBA coach. Next one, Sean.
There's a new team in the Giannis sweepstakes, rumor has it. According to Ramona Shelburne, the Orlando Magic could be players for the big man from Milwaukee. The Magic yesterday hired Sweeney. What's his first? Sean Sweeney.
Yes.
I almost mixed him up with another Sweeney. I know. And then at the last second, I was like, wait, that's
Sydney?
not right. No. Yeah, Sydney. Magic hired Sydney Sweeney. Sean Sweeney is the new Magic head coach, right?
Yeah.
He has ties to Giannis in Milwaukee. He was an assistant for the Bucks for a while. So now Ramona Shelburne is saying that the Magic could be players in Giannis.
Yeah.
The funny part about this, though, is I don't know what the heck they could offer.
And two, just to kind of throw this out there, it goes a little bit too beyond that. They have John Hammond on staff. He is a GM with an advisory role who drafted Giannis. Jeff Weltman, who's the president of basketball operations, went out and scouted Giannis, and now you have Sean Sweeney, who worked closely with Giannis in Milwaukee. So a lot of Orlando Magic fans are looking at it, hopeful that they might make a swing at Giannis Antetokounmpo.
As I mentioned, though, they traded a bunch of picks to get Desmond Bane,
yes,
right? And
yes.
you don't want to trade him for Giannis because he's a shooter. And right now he's like the only shooter on the Magic. So they would likely need to trade Franz Wagner or Paolo Banchero to get him. And I don't know. I mean, I'd much rather move on from Wagner. I'd rather keep Paolo, but he's a little redundant with what Giannis does.
If it seems like if they want Giannis, they would have to put up a pretty big trade package.
Right. They definitely need to get other teams involved, I think, because Milwaukee would not be satisfied with whatever picks Orlando could offer. I mean, like I said, they barely have anything left because they gave up, I think it was 4 first-round picks for Desmond Bane. So.
Right. And Orlando's kind of in this interesting spot right now where they have a quote-unquote young core, and I think expectations were high for Orlando coming into the season, but I think that they underperformed massively, being at number 8.
Right.
And you make the trade for Desmond Bane. That's supposed to help you get over the hump and become a bona fide playoff team. They ultimately did make it, but they had a pretty quick one and done.
Wagner and Paolo are both making about $41 million next year. Giannis is making $54 million, so they would probably need to add another, I don't know, maybe like an Anthony Black just because he's kind of younger, right? He's still on his rookie deal. Maybe Milwaukee could think they could get something out of him. I mean, it's not like the Magic have a ton of just young talent that Milwaukee would be interested in either. I don't think that Milwaukee could offer the same thing that even I think the Heat could offer a better package.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Celtics have a smarter front office. I think they could offer more. I just don't know why Milwaukee would be interested. Wagner's a really good player, but he's never healthy.
And did you see the latest report coming out this morning from Giannis Antetokounmpo?
No, what was it? There's another one?
Linked to Boston.
Oh, right. Yeah. Again, even if you go to Boston, like Boston wouldn't hold on. They would have to include Jaylen Brown, I'm assuming.
Right.
So you put Giannis and Tatum next to each other, but I'd take Jaylen Brown over Franz Wagner.
Yeah,
if I'm Milwaukee.
Absolutely.
And I mentioned earlier,
Jaylen Brown seems like a player you can
build
rebuild.
Around.
Yeah, you can rebuild around.
And put him in Milwaukee where the Wi-Fi doesn't work, so he can't hop on Twitch.
That's right. Yeah, there you
go. No, that's why I brought up the Celtics front office is a lot better than the Magic.
Yes.
And the Magic front office has been fine, but I mean, clearly what the Celtics have been doing over the last few years, they are one of the top teams in the NBA, right? So if anybody were to pull off some crazy sort of magic, I'd put it more likely to be Boston than the Magic.
It just really does feel like we're at a point right now where it does feel like Giannis Antetokounmpo will not be a Milwaukee Buck.
No.
Whether that be moving on from him this offseason, whether that be making a move for him at the deadline. He does, I believe, hit free agency at the end of next year. And so it does seem like that that ship has sailed. Giannis will not be a Milwaukee Buck in the very near future.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does kind of feel like we're at that point.
Speaking of free agency, next.
Walker Kessler expected to re-sign with the Utah Jazz. The latest from Tim Bontemps saying that Walker Kessler is expected to re-sign with the Jazz on a 25 to 30 per year deal. We talked about it a little bit last week. All the eggs it felt like a lot of the Jazz's eggs were in the Walker Kessler basket. They need a big man. They're counting on Walker Kessler. And so this is a really great news for Jazz fans to come wake up to yesterday morning with Tim Bontemps saying that they are expected to re-sign Walker Kessler.
The best part of this to me is that number. 25 to 30
absolutely.
is a lot more palatable. There were rumors for a second. It felt like that number could get inflated all the way up to like 35 million a year, which when you're talking about what the Jazz are going to be facing over the next few seasons, they're going to have to pay Keontae George probably next summer. They're already paying Jaren Jackson Jr. and Lowry Markkanen each close to $50 million per year. Right, so every penny you can save matters. So if you can get Walker Kessler closer to $25 million than $35 million,
that'd be massive.
That is huge. And of course, it's probably going to be a short-term deal because the Jazz have an interesting, even bringing in the number 2 pick, they still want to try and win as fast as they can. They're kind of opening their window now. I don't know how long that window is going to be open. Obviously, it depends on how the number 2 pick turns out. But, like, feasibly, they probably have a chance at competing in the West within the next 2 or 3 years.
If you can get him closer to that 25 number, I feel like that helps out a lot with your financial situation, and that could definitely help open up your window for a lot more. Because I think right now that you're trying to do everything you can to make sure that window is open, not just for the next 2 to 3 years, but you can push it to 5 to 7. To even longer if you're really lucky and you get a franchise-changing player at the number 2.
Possibly, but Walker probably wouldn't be a part of that.
No.
I'm thinking with Walker, it's probably a shorter-term deal.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they need him on this roster next year. That is a fact because they don't have any other options at center.
Mm-hmm.
But if it gets to a point where they can do something else at center for a lot cheaper, then they're probably going to move off of Walker eventually. But again, for next year, they need him. He's the perfect fit. He's the, Thanos putting the last stone into the Infinity Gauntlet. He is that for the Jazz.
Fair.
He fits so perfectly next to Jaren Jackson Jr. and Lowry Markkanen. And having Walker at the 5 is going to fix that defense like nobody else can.
Yeah, and we talked about it last week. Having those three together seems like a really, really great thing for the Utah Jazz to have all that size, to have all that length.
Yes.
Especially with the defensive woes that we've seen from the Jazz. And again, I know that part of it is possibly and partially on purpose to try to position yourself in good lottery standings. But I think if you have those three, your defensive play can and probably will improve massively.
Yeah. And they need it. They need it. But after, 2 or 3 years, will Walker Kessler be needed? I mean, they're basically going to have to choose between Walker Kessler and Keontae George is what I'm ultimately getting at. Mm-hmm. Because again, Keontae is going to be getting an extension probably next summer. That's when he's going to be eligible. So if Keontae continues on this upward path, then yeah, that's a tough choice to make. I mean, if Keontae falls off and it's not a hard decision, then you just keep Walker and don't keep Keontae.
Yeah.
But I liked what I saw from Keontae George last year. There's no reason to believe that he can't continue on that upward trajectory.
After everything that he did last season, there's no reason not to believe that there is still more of a step to take for Keontae George.
You just can't pay everybody.
Yeah, this isn't. I don't think this is the final version of Keontae.
No, it's not. And when you get to be a championship caliber team, which the Jazz are ultimately striving to be, you have to make tough decisions. Remember, speaking of Boston, we're talking about the Celtics. They had to dump Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis, 2 key members of their championship team.
Absolutely.
Because, the roster just gets too expensive after a certain point. The Thunder are in the same boat. They're going to have to dump a lot of these key players and hope that some of their younger players can catch up and step up. And again, eventually the Spurs are going to be in the same boat.
The second apron, man. It's killer.
So we'll see. I'm interested to see. I like that. That number's music to my ears. 25 to 30, perfect.
Absolutely.
3 years, potentially, perfect.
Absolutely. And as we were talking about, he is going to be a massive piece to the Jazz turning that corner. And the Jazz pushing for playoffs and the Jazz pushing for winning basketball. So it's great to... Obviously, still rumor. Nothing confirmed. Nothing official. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is the rumor mill.
There's still time.
This is a rumor mill. None of this is official.
Reminding everybody, it's all rumor. It's part of a rumor mill, and so still waiting for any official confirmation or anything like that. But the latest rumor is that he is expected to resign.
Still 1-0 for Arsenal coming up on the halftime intermission.
Yeah. Except
they added 6 minutes of extra time, so not quite coming up. That's a lot of extra.
Those hydration
I feel
breaks,
like it hasn't even. I feel like they haven't even taken breaks.
Yeah, no, they had a hydration break while we were on break.
This started right at 10, right when we started.
Yeah.
And it's 10:48, and they're in the 46th minute.
Yeah.
So they've been stopped for like a minute and a half total, and they've added 6 minutes of extra time.
I guess.
If my math's right.
Yeah.
Anyways, 1-0 Arsenal. We got to take a break. Coming up next, we'll get into technical fouls, some of the funnier sports stories of the week. Stick with us. It's the Saturday Show, 97.5 DKSL Sports Zone.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now it's the final days of our Everything's on Sale event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses. Our Memorial Day event ends Monday. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
Welcome back to the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napoles, thank you for making us a part of your Saturday morning. It's time for Technical Fouls, one of our favorite segments every week. We talk about some of the funnier things that happen in sports. Real quick, I do have to update on a personal story. Sean reminded me. A couple weeks ago, I was talking about I couldn't find the
sprinklers.
The key to my sprinkler.
Yeah.
For those that missed it, right, I was going to turn on my sprinklers. You have that thing in the ground. You stick the key in there and twist it. I couldn't find the hole in the ground because last fall, I completely redid my lawn. I threw a bunch of dirt, a bunch of grass seed. It looked great, but I needed to water it. But because I put so much dirt and grass, I couldn't remember where that hole was. And I kept telling myself, I swear that I left it uncovered. I'm not that dumb. But I couldn't find it. I was on my hands and knees, digging up like this whole corner of my lawn, I dug like 2 or 3 inches deep trying to find this thing, and I could not find it. Turns out I was looking in the wrong spot.
I knew it.
My wife was like, I think I know where it is. And I was like, okay, I think I know where it is too, but it's harder than you think. She comes over. I was literally, so there's like a green sprinkler box. I was looking on the right side of it. It was on the left side of it. Literally like lined up right there. I was probably a foot off.
She has the mom superpowers now, dude.
Yes, exactly.
Where's the TV remote?
Yeah.
Mom, I can't find it. Mom comes over. It's right there.
Right there.
Yeah.
You're looking in the wrong spot, dude.
She has the mom superpowers
That's
now.
funny.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay, let's get into technical fouls. There was a big one this week. Big brother and little brother in Texas are fighting, and we're just sitting back watching. Long story short, Texas head coach Steve Sarkisian he threw a shot at an anonymous team in the state of Texas.
I have the direct quote.
What'd he say?
There is a team in our state that plays in another conference that has a schedule that I would argue if I played with our 2s or our 3s, we would go undefeated, unquote.
Okay.
That was Steve Sarkisian's direct quote.
And then Cody Campbell, the mega booster for Texas Tech, he straight up offers
Take it personal.
to play Texas. He says, okay, let's play then. No answer. No answer. And then was it Cody Campbell or Joey McGuire that straight up offered? They said they will buy out Texas's week 1 opponent and Texas Tech's week 1 opponent. They will buy out both teams so they could make this game happen.
So I believe it started with Joey McGuire at the Big 12 spring business meetings that are happening, right, down there in Texas. Joey McGuire essentially comes out and says that they would buy out their first game to play Texas. And so obviously social media gets a hold of it and everyone's like, let's make it happen, which I agree. And then you have Texas Tech big booster Cody Campbell, who jumps on Pat McAfee yesterday and essentially says the same thing, and he's like, yeah, we'll pay it. Cody Campbell, who's also very very vocal on social media, also tweets about it. Boosts his tweet, by the way. You know, you can see that on Twitter now.
You can see when it's boosted?
It's basically boosted, and, you pay extra to essentially it becomes an ad, and it pops up on everybody's feed.
That's funny.
He does that, and so it gets boosted. Everybody sees Cody Campbell's tweet, basically calling out Texas and saying, we will buy out the game for you. And then, of course, there's crickets coming from the Texas side of it all.
Texas.
In fact, no, Steve Sarkisian, before all this comes out with Jerry Maguire, goes back and says, look, the comment was taken out of context and tries to retract the statement.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Stevie.
Yeah. It was, but obviously Joey Maguire and Cody Campbell didn't see it that way.
Texas's week 1 opponent, by the way, is Texas State.
Yeah.
Texas Tech has Abilene Christian lined up for week 1. So, yeah. I mean, if they really wanted to settle this and put their money where their mouth is,
they won't.
They could buy these games out, but they won't. You're right.
They could, but they won't.
Sark doesn't want to FOFO.
Yeah.
FAFO. You know?
Yeah.
He doesn't want to mess around and find out.
No.
But he was messing around. He's just not going to find out. Nope. Or I guess he is finding out what social media does, because now he's the one that looks like the idiot. When you're bragging about your 2s and 3s, like, it's one thing to say if we played that schedule, we'd be undefeated. But he takes it one step further and says our backups could play Texas Tech's schedule and go undefeated.
Right.
So then Texas Tech, they have every right to take offense to that. They say, okay, fine, put your money where your mouth is. Let's play.
Let's play it.
And Texas, radio silence.
Yeah, it won't happen. It won't happen. Just because there is the possibility, there is the chance that you lose that game and you become even more of a joke than you are now with your head coach making those comments.
Texas isn't very good. I don't think. Everybody's still so high on Arch Manning.
Arch Manning's going to be the Heisman, man.
I don't see it.
Arch Manning.
He's a bum.
He's going to be the Heisman.
Number 1 overall pick. Yeah, right.
It's already starting, man. I've already seen it. The NFL mock drafts, the Heisman contenders.
Sick of it.
Who's at the top? Arch Manning. Who was at the top last season?
Arch.
And how did that go?
Bad.
There you go.
Exactly. All right. We're going to take a break. Coming up next on the other side, we're going to talk to Bryce Akins. He covers the Washington Wizards for SI Now. Bryce has had some strong opinions on Twitter over the last couple of weeks talking about the Wizards, but we're going to talk to him and kind of get the vibe on what's going on in Washington, what they feel about the number 1 pick, and kind of get the temperature on how they feel about the AJ DeBonsa versus Darren Peterson thing.
I'm curious as well to see what his thoughts are on Trae Young and Anthony Davis.
Exactly. We'll talk about all of it.
Yeah.
So stick with us. It's the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hey there, it's Wayfair here, where delivery and setup are as easy as a few taps on your phone. You're relaxing in an old hammock, scrolling Wayfair's app, when you spot it, a brand new patio set. Next thing you know, Wayfair delivers it right to your patio and sets it up. Oh, you need a new grill too? All right, Wayfair's got you covered. With Wayfair's room of choice delivery and fast expert setup on qualifying orders, life gets a little easier. Visit wayfair.com or the Wayfair app.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Summer is all about freedom, fun, and growing up. And between the ages of 9 and 13, kids are starting to form their views about alcohol. With more independence, their still developing brains need more guidance and support than ever. That's why summer is the perfect time to stay connected and plan fun, safe family activities together. Research shows kids who spend quality time with their parents doing what they enjoy are less likely to drink underage. And when kids feel close to you, they're more likely to listen, especially when you set clear expectations. In fact, kids who drink before 15 are far more likely to struggle with alcohol later. This summer, create a no-bummer summer with fun, alcohol-free activities for your kids. Go to summer.parentsempowered.org to take a quick quiz and discover ideas tailored to your family. A little time together can make a big difference. For more information and to learn more about how to prevent underage drinking, visit parentsempowered.org.